iRacing has a brand new late model stock on the sim, and of course this glorious old preserved 1987 version of North Wilkesboro Speedway. North Wilkesboro is being revamped for this year's NASCAR All-Star race, but let's be honest, I think this 1987 version just has a little more charm than any new version of this track could ever possibly have, and I'm so thankful we have it on iRacing. We're going racing tonight in round number 2, week number 2 of the iRacing Late Model Tour. The official game now of the Cars Tour is iRacing.com. With this brand new late model stock car, it makes a whole lot of sense as we jump into the sim. Qualifying underway from North Wilkesboro Speedway, checking in a little over 1/2 mile in length. Some of iRacing's best short track racers possibly ever, but certainly on the sim today, are in this race. We're talking about guys like Jackson Crowder, Caleb Hall, Timmy Holmes, Ryan Kuhn, Jacob Harberts, Michael Bumgarner, Kendrick Cryer, Daniel Eberhardt, Landon Rapp, Caden Anderson, Daniel Nanny, Justin Hazlitt, Trayton Lapsovich, how about that name, David Lamb, Alex McCullum, and Brad Sousa. Some serious big names in this one as we get ready to go racing for a 50-lap race in just a few moments. Here's a look at the track map here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's a relatively kind of uniquely shaped short track, and it's going to look a whole lot different when the trucks and NASCAR Cup cars go racing this May, but for the most part, this shape really hasn't changed all that much, if at all. Just kind of the way pit road runs is a bit different now. You enter in turn 3. These guys on the sim still enter in turn 4 per the 87 version. And we're excited to get racing. We are very excited to get going here. Let's take a look at the standings coming into this evening. Here's a look at them after week number 1. Alex McCullum leads with that win that we saw on the broadcast last week at South Boston Speedway. Ryan Kuhn in second. His second account is in the fourth spot in the standings. Very interesting weeks for Ryan Kuhn, or I guess 1 week for Ryan Kuhn on his couple of accounts. Justin Brooks is a name that really stands out to me in this top 10. I don't see him in this session, in this top split session, but Justin Brooks is a painter that has been moving around and kind of getting further into the racing industry. Really interesting to see him up in this top 10 after 1 week of racing at South Boston. Alex McCullum's other account also in the top 10. Joel Smith in the top 10. Ty Majeski, Landon Rapp, they all kind of make a whole lot of sense. An opportunity now to look at the schedule for this season. We talked a bit about it last week. South Boston, North Wilkesboro tonight. Then it's the Bull Ring next week at Las Vegas. Five Flags week number 4. Then finally Langley and Southern National to complete the top half of the schedule. Martinsville, Hickory, Lanier, New Smyrna, Nashville, and Lakeland. Some really interesting racetracks. Personally, I think I'm most excited for, well, this round, Wilkesboro, Las Vegas next week, then Southern National, Martinsville, Hickory, that stretch of races, and then again at New Smyrna. I'm really interested to see how these guys run at New Smyrna. Kind of a super late model track. I'm interested to see how these late model stocks do. And of course, USA International Speedway, a classic USAR Hooters Pro Cup track, if you recall way back when. Qualifying has completed. Cars are on track and gridding up, and well, rolling off of the grid. Let's take a look at your starting grid for round number 2 as far as the SOF split goes. Jackson Crowder on pole. Caleb Hall will start from second. Starting third, it's Timmy Holmes, who won here in the 100-lap race that EPI put on just about a week and 3 days ago. The first annual EPI, or first ever, I should say. It could be first per season. Anyways, first ever EPI Late Model Showdown. Ryan Kuhn starts from 4th. Starting 5th is Jacob Harberts. Kendrick Cryer from 6th. Michael Bumgarner will start from 7th in the 14 car. Daniel Eberhardt will start from 8th. Then it's Landon Rapp, who checks into the top 10 in standings, and Caden Anderson to complete your top 10. Alex McCullum mired back in the field. He'll start from 11th. Daniel Nanny from 12th. Justin Hazlitt, Trayton Lapsovich, they make up row number 7. Finally, David Lamb and Brad Sousa at the back end of the field. The field works through turns 3 and 4 for the final time before going racing here in week number 2. Green flag is out at North Wilkesboro. 1 lap complete, 3 wide there in the middle of the pack as they run down to turn 1. You can see this field has really moved around. Ryan Kuhn slow off the start. He's fallen from 4th back to 7th in just a lap and a half. And Bumgarner, meanwhile, moves up to the 4th spot very quick. He brings Landon Rapp with him as Rapp is on the inside now of Caleb Hall, who started, I do believe, on the outside of row number 1. So the bottom side is very, very quick already this evening at North Wilkesboro Speedway. There's Luke McCullum now on the inside in his brand new JDR Graphics number 1 car. He moves to the inside of Caleb Hall and will take that 6th position away. Kendrick Cryer going to follow through. And already this race has completely changed in just a few laps. Caleb Hall going backwards very quickly. Ryan Kuhn now finally finds a line there on the bottom side. Good to see Ryan make it this evening, by the way. Of course, had racing duties at Hickory Motor Speedway this past week for the past St. Patrick's Day 150 and Easter Money 150. I'm not sure how he did, but maybe he'll make it the top 3, and we can talk to him about it here in just about 45 more laps of racing. These guys racing for 7th. It's Ryan Kuhn, Kendrick Cryer, Caleb Hall. Up front, Timmy Holmes took advantage of that hectic start, moved up to 2nd very quickly. He won that 100-lapper here not so long ago, a week and a few days, and took home a boatload of cash from EPI, and now he's working here on Jackson Crowder. And I don't think Timmy expected to be as good as he is in this late model stock car, but clearly embracing it now as he shows up here to Wilkesboro once again. And works heavily here on Jackson Crowder, the eNASCAR iRacing Coca-Cola Series Pro driver, yes, for RFK Racing in the number 6 car. Certainly a good pedigree when you're teammates with Caden Honeycutt, a guy who actually runs in the Cars, Solid Rock Carriers Cars late model stock tour. That is a mouthful, by the way. But as we complete lap number 8, man, Timmy is right there, and he looks to the inside here. Driver's eye cam on the back end of the number 8 of Jackson Crowder. Crowder's still leading. By the way, the weather conditions for this race, 81 degrees in the air, 90 degrees on track, and that is a spicy move to the inside of turn 3, and it works out quickly for Timmy Holmes. Crowder on the racetrack, and up the racetrack as Harvards puts him in the fence, and oh, he's going to dump him. Wow. What a mess. There's no caution yet. No caution at all. And we're flipping cars, and I just remembered, I believe this is a D-Class series. No cautions. Oh my goodness. That is... wow. That's really a shame. Ryan Kuhn has got a lot of damage. There he is. I'll call it what it is. That is really a shame. I know we broadcast this series because of EPI, but there's no tie to the comment I'm about to make. That is worthy, in my opinion, of being cut from a setup shop. That was absolutely ridiculous. Harberts, I mean, that's a perfectly fair move. Great racing. And just the 54 got loose, and Harberts just up the racetrack. That's fine. Then he comes up again and just keeps driving through him. That's a personal comment, by the way. Just before anybody comes after anybody else, that is a personal comment. That is just... look at this, the mess it caused. Kendrick Cryer up in the air. McCullum's wadded up. Ryan Kuhn. That took the first race of the week and really just absolutely maimed it, if you will. Just a real bonehead move. Timmy Holmes leading by nearly a second now over Bumgarner. We've seen this before. In fact, we saw this in that event last Friday, I guess 2 Fridays ago, where Bumgarner trailed Holmes for several laps. We're talking about 60 or so laps behind the number 6 car, and just was never able to catch up to him. We'll see if maybe fate changes this evening. Daniel Eberhardt, by the way, is now in the 3rd spot, and look at all the damage he's got on his number 9 car. As Landon Rapp, he goes even quicker. Landon Rapp is back here. I think he just got a new car. He did pit 3 laps ago, and yeah, he must have been involved in that mess in turns 1 and 2. As he works here on the 32 car. I'm not sure entirely who that is just yet, but he goes well to the inside and is going to take a swing at things here. And that car he just passed was Trayton Lapsevich, who currently runs in 5th. Caleb Hall, that car right there, is for 4th. So These guys mired way back in the field, and actually the closest battle on the racetrack, and it's hard to call it even a battle with all the damage on these cars, as the number 32 rides in 5th. Hall now. Here comes Landon Rapp to his inside. And Landon Rapp goes right on by. Now Landon is running in the 12th position. The next car he would catch would be Kendrick Cryer, 11 seconds up the road, and here is the number 3 into turn number 1. They have both taken fast repairs, it looks like, and got back on the racetrack as Cryer runs in the 11th position. The next car ahead of him is 2 seconds up the road. That is David Lamb here in the number 09. And ahead of that would be Ryan Kuhn and finally Brad Souza, as Kuhn sails up to the inside of Eberhardt in the number 9. Unfortunately, Alex McCullum looks to be done for the day on the pit lane. Jackson Crowder rides in the 14th spot after starting on pole this evening. Taking a look there at the 54 car. All while this guy continues to lead. He's about to put Crowder, by the way, a 7th lap down potentially if his older tires are able to hang on. Let's ride on board with the guy dominating this race. And of course now, hard to say there's going to be any competition unless he burns his own tires off. Timmy Holmes, the pro driver, the single black license in this race, bringing the lion's share, not even the lion's share actually, but bringing certainly a healthy portion of iRating to this field. The 5th highest iRating in the field at a 67.86, and that is bound to rise for sure. Well, as we approach halfway, a big shout out to those who make it happen for us at Pit Stop TV, Whiplash Media Simcams, ATVO, Short Track Weekly. And a big shout out, of course, to EPI, Elite Performance Industries, Tyler Payne, everybody who makes things happen over at that particular setup shop. Again, you know, of course, they have us here. We are guests of them, if you will, on these Monday evenings. But I really do like the culture that Tyler Payne puts on. I love what he does for short track racing here on the sim. It's hard to argue that he is one of the better guys, for sure. As we hit that halfway mark. 25 laps complete, 25 laps left to go, and Lapsevich is right on Caleb Hall, rather. And he goes here to the inside of car 9, and this is for 5th position. Sweeps up the track a little bit. Good catch there out of Trayton as he hangs on. That car right behind them is not for position. That is the 09 of, I gotta remember this, I think Brad Souza. No, that is not Brad Souza, actually. Regardless, it is not for position. It might be David Lamb, actually, in the 09. And Lapsevich, he had that real good attempt for a moment on Caleb Hall, got to his inside, and since then, the 32, I think, is just a little worse for wear, kind of burnt his tires up a little bit getting to him and trying to put that move on, and now I wonder if Trayton is trying to save his stuff for another run at things, as we've got a slow car that has Alex McCullum exiting the pit lane 17 laps down. Back up to that battle for 4th. Let's go back on board with Trayton Lapsevich as he works here on position number 4. It's something that I think is really shown here on iRacing with this camera is the difference of, I guess, angle into each corner. Particularly the pitch of the nose. You can see the car kind of comes up a little bit in this camera because the pitch of the camera actually changes with this particular setup. So when they go down the front stretch, you can see they're dropping down into turn 1 a bit more, and when they come up the back straightaway, it's literally coming up the back stretch and up the hill to turn number 3. Lapsevich only a couple of tenths off of Caleb Hall as they continue to battle, and you can see just what I mean there. But now, I wonder if Lamb is going to play spoiler at all. I wonder if Lapsevich can actually let Lamb go by and open up a hole to the inside of Caleb Hall potentially. Lamb with better tires certainly after, well, taking that faster pair 19 laps ago compared to these guys running on 32-lap old tires. And yes, Lapsevich opens the door wide that time at a turn 1. The problem is that really held him up, actually. It's worth a shot, though, at this point. I don't think you're going to get by him just doing the same exact thing lap after lap. So it's worth a shot, certainly, for car 32 as he works on him here for the 4th position. And that is the best battle on the racetrack, but these guys are catching Eberhardt ever so slowly. As Eberhardt kind of grazes the wall there, the gap from Eberhardt back to Caleb Hall is narrowing. 0.6, 0.5. A little closer, it looks like, each and every corner. Caleb Hall sends it there to turns 1 and 2. Now that gap is kind of stagnating just a little bit. As there's Caleb Hall, David Lamb right on his back end. Yeah, just not really changing now. They're about equidistant aside from Lamb, that lap car with better tires. Jammed in the middle like a sandwich. Up front, there's your race leader, Timmy Holmes, as we approach 10 laps to go. And this could be a good debate to get going, guys. This is a D-Class series. That means no cautions available. Fast repairs are available. Should it be a C-Class series? I personally would say so after what we saw earlier. I think that would be a no-brainer to me personally, but I also get that racers have very different opinions and for very different reasons. And I like hearing those reasons out. So, out in the comments, whether it's live or recorded, whatever, Facebook, YouTube, heck, even over on Twitch, I'll fire that up and see if anybody chimes in. I would genuinely love to get some opinions, and it's not going to matter. I don't set the rules for the series, but it would be interesting to hear, as there goes David Lamb to the inside of Caleb Hall. Now, can Lapsevich take advantage? I think not. It's just not going to happen. He's still too far back. Wasn't really able to close in at all. Although I think even with the better tires, it seems like Lamb is a little bit slower in the center of the corner, just is able to put the power down on exit and get fired up out as, Lapsevich getting close. He might have something. Back on board with car number 10, and down to the inside, Lapsevich, an attempt here on Caleb Hall for the 4th position. Eberhardt is 2 cars ahead. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot too early as we hit 10, now 9 laps to go as Holmes pings by the flag stand. Eberhardt the car at the line now, then Lamb, then Hall, then Lapsevich. Lamb is not for position. There goes Lapsevich, though, right back to the inside. He keeps doing it in turns 1 and 2. If he can wait potentially to set it up in turn 3, it might work a little better. It's looking like he gets down there too low in 1 and has to pinch off the center and is slowing. At the same time, you got to take what you can get as Hall. Oh, man, that was close. Close the door quickly. And this late model stock car really is a whole lot better, I think. I love the old car. I know a lot of people did. I know McCullum's in that category of loving the previous iteration of this machine, but I really do love this car. I think it's entirely revitalized late model racing on the iRacing sim. Again, would love to get some feedback on that. Six laps to go for these drivers. Timmy Holmes into turns 3 and 4 this time will quickly make it 5 laps to go this time by, as he is driver number 5 in this session, the 5th highest I rating. Further back, the battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Caleb Hall right on the back end of Eberhardt as they exit turn 4. David Lamb finally got by the number 9 car, that time into turn 1. 5 laps to go for these drivers. Car 9, 9, and 32. I think Caleb Hall is going to have something for old Daniel Eberhardt. I really think he's going to have something by the end of this run. I don't think Lapsevich is ultimately going to get him, but hey, with 4 laps to go in closing, that might change, especially that slide in turn 2. That also tells us a lot more about what Caleb Hall is fighting right now than we initially thought. I mean, look at him correcting in the center of the corner. That is impressive that he's hanging on to it like that. 3 laps to go. And here comes Timmy Holmes to make it 2. He led, I believe, somewhere to the tune of 80 laps en route to victory here at Wilkesboro in the EPI Late Model Showdown. That was a couple of Fridays ago. Tonight, he's not going to have to lead nearly as many, but he's got one more that he has to lead in order to win in the first SOF race of this brand new week. Week number 2. Only the second SOF race then of the season, if you will. And car 6, Timmy Holmes is going to victory lane at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Take that chunk of my rating for the pro driver. Eberhardt, Hall down the backstretch. Hall sends it into turn 3, and it's simply not going to be enough. And he will stay in the 4th position as Lapsevich stays 5th. And that is it for the lead lap cars across the line. The last lead lap car was Daniel Nanny there in the number 11, and he will finish in 6th. So Timmy Holmes, the pro driver, going to get to burn it down at North Wilkesboro once again. We're getting used to seeing that. Didn't think we ever would, but the Kings Hawaiian rolls number 6. It's a victory lane at Wilkesboro. Let's go back and take a look at our unofficial race results after all of this. And certainly not what I expected coming into the evening. That is for sure. I first of all did not expect Timmy Holmes to make the return, especially for the official race, but glad he did so. Did not expect Bumgarner to go second with so little competition. 9 seconds, nearly exactly, back to Daniel Eberhardt in 3rd. Caleb Hall, Trayton Lapsevich round out your top 5. Daniel Nanny there in 6th. Caden Anderson 7th. Brad Souza, Ryan Kuhn, David Lamb complete your top 10. Finishing 11th, Kendrick Cryer, ahead of guys like Landon Rapp. Jackson Crowder goes 14th. Alex McCullum 15th. Justin Hazlitt, unfortunately, 40 laps down. Those guys just not able to recover from those setbacks earlier in the day. Well, with about 10 laps complete. 42 laps led for the guy who goes to victory lane. Let's check out the rest of the schedule. Wilkesboro now in the books as far as our broadcast goes. Next up for us on the channel is the Bullring, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. That's going to be a lot of fun. That is, I believe, right about a half mile. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like it's a third mile or less. It feels like a really tight track. But it's got some life to it. Like, it is a proper short track, I guess. It's got some speed. It's just really, really tight in the corners. And these big late model stocks are definitely going to be, I guess, a wrestling match around that place for 50 laps of racing. 5 flags for round 4, kind of the opposite. Real fast, highly banked, real bumpy. The car gets moved around the entire lap. Langley Speedway, again, completely different. It's flat. Not as many bumps, although there's one real big one in turn 1 that really upsets the car sometimes. Southern National Motorsports Park, again, complete opposite. It's real high banked, real narrow. Well, real narrow racing line of the corner, but you can certainly run too wide there lap after lap. A real wide track as far as it's paved. Martinsville, Hickory, Lanier, New Smyrna, Nashville, Lakeland. A lot of variety in this schedule. We really like to see that. Well, as we have no cautions in the series, that went pretty quickly. Again, I'd love to hear some feedback. Just some ideas maybe as to whether or not the series should or should not be D-class. Whether it should have cautions or not, basically. I'd be very curious to see some opinions out in the chat. I'll be checking it after the race. But that does it then. For on-track action, no drivers joining the Discord channel for any interviews. So again, a reminder to all of you out there watching, if you know somebody that podiumed or even went in the top 5 or 10 even, share the Discord link. It's in the EPI Discord channel, or Discord server, so you can find it that way to get on in to talk to us for an interview. But that will do it from North Wilkesboro Speedway. Certainly enjoy having you guys each Monday as we embark on this new journey as far as late model stock racing as opposed to legend car racing. But hey, stay tuned. There is some legend car stuff on the way here involved with Pit Stop TV. Maybe a return of a league we haven't seen in a while. So check out all of our social media channels for that. And here's a look at our upcoming broadcasts on the channel in general. Wednesday evening, 2 nights from now, March 22nd, we go racing at Circuit of the Americas with the UFL Elite Series. We'll see guys like Joel Smith, I'm sure, maybe even Tyler Payne get in on that one. Corey Heim, who just tested here at Wilkesboro today for Tricon Garage, I believe, at least it was his truck. We'll see if he is in the field once again at COTA. I'd imagine he will be. Christian Eckes, fresh off that NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series win, he should be in the field. We're going to see a lot of great drivers, I think, for round number 6 of 12 for their season at COTA this coming week. Then Sunday we go to Spa as we embark on a new journey with the SimPit Road Racing Series, the SimPit Radical Series this time, as we take out the old Radical, the Radical SR8, not even the Radical SR10 that's now on iRacing, the Radical SR8, the old one, on March 26th. And look at that, Monday evening. Right back to it with these late model stock cars, this time from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway Bull Ring. That's going to be a lot of fun. That will do it for us this evening. Once again, thanks for joining us here at Pit Stop TV. I know it was a quick one, but these races usually are. And we're excited to see where the series goes from here. Well, we know where they're going. Las Vegas next up, but we have a whole week of racing before we get there, and the points are going to change a whole bunch. But hey, Timmy Holmes, the first North Wilkesboro winner in the late models with their new iteration of race car. This is, again, really big for late model racing and just short track racing on the sim in general. Thanks for joining us this evening. A big thank you to those who make it happen for us in audio, ATVO, the Flash Media SimCams, OBS, and iRacing. We will see you next time. Wednesday evening, the UFL Elite Series goes to COTA.